Hi.
Hello there.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing fine this week. I'm Cece Schatz.
And I'm Derek Bernard.
And you guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and we are on the boy and girl thing. So welcome to the show.
And I hope you really enjoy it. And if you feel to call in and join the discussion or contribute in some way, feel free to do so.
Yeah, I'll put the call-in number right there. It's 727-238-8970. So if anyone wants to give us a call, they can talk with us or just hop in here to the lobby. We'd love to have them on the show with us. All you have to do is go to WGSN-DB Going Solo Facebook page. If you're watching us on that particular Facebook page, you can click right in and join us right into the lobby. If you're watching us on another page where I put this broadcast, then you can just watch us or call the number that's scrolling there, and you can call us and talk to us. So that would be
yes.
But yeah, so we have a good time on this show, and I enjoy it very much. How about you?
Absolutely. You know, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's good discussions. Sometimes we agree with each other, and sometimes,
we don't.
sometimes we don't. But but we respect each other's views.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing.
Well, and the thing is too is sometimes when you say something that's different, it really makes me think about it. So I mean, I might very well have a view that might be different, but the views can easily change, right? And that's
absolutely
what it's all about. Yeah. So yeah,
it's all about learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
So if you guys are out there listening and you like the show, please like it so that we know that you're listening to us. Also, we do have a Boy and Girl Facebook page, Boy and Girl Thing Show Facebook page, so you can join us on the Facebook page, or of course join us here on the studio page. So that's always great. Well, let's go on with our topic because I'm excited about our topic tonight. Let's see.
Yes.
Our topic is 15 reasons why he chose her over you. And when I saw this, this particular article, I really was like, wow, because I have been, I have been one of the ones that have been left behind. So, I know what that's like to have someone else, choose someone else over me. And it's not always a fun feeling. Have you had that happen to you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it happens to everybody.
Oh.
And that's why I have some problems with the topic, with the title, 15 Reasons Why He Chose Her Over You. It isn't always the man making that final decision. Sometimes it's the woman.
I beg to differ. I think it is different.
What do you think that...
Did you watch the Love Island, the show The Love Island?
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, it was interesting, and they were of course young, beautiful,
right?
People, gorgeous people, and young, and just it was really. I really liked the show. I started watching, thinking, "Oh, this is really dumb. I mean, this is really stupid." But the more I started watching it, the more I started watching the relationships, building the relationships. And the couple that ended up winning the show was just the sweetest, loving couple. I mean, there was two couples there that really were just outstanding. But I was so glad I voted for them. I actually went on my phone, downloaded the app, and I voted for them. But but what I realized within the environment, even though the women were sometimes selecting the men, coupling, they called it. They wanted to couple with them. Even though sometimes they were the ones that were choosing, at the end of the day, it truly is the man that chooses the woman. It truly is. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I would say that might be so. I mean, but at the same time, I think that these days, women have a lot more say in how a relationship goes. And sometimes it's the woman who decides this person is not for me. I admit that it's more difficult for a woman to break off a relationship than a man. And I guess that's for various reasons. But women find it harder to break off relationships. Men probably find it a little easier to say, you know what, I am moving on. And some men don't even say they're moving on; they just simply disappear.
Yeah.
Right. So, so I mean, it's just one of those things. But these 15 reasons here are quite interesting, I think, and they're probably, I would say, realistic.
Yeah. Do you want to start us out then?
And the first one, well, number 15, he loves her confidence. And it says, when it comes to finding a suitable partner, men are drawn to women who exude confidence. Maybe you complain a little too much about the gap between your teeth, or you would always tell him your desire to lose those 5 extra pounds that have been haunting you since last winter. While you were openly discussing your insecurities with him, the woman he chose to be with was happy with herself, content with her body, and she wasn't afraid to own all of her flaws. This confidence is what increased his desire to spend more and more time with her. Think of it this way. Would you rather spend your time with someone who is full of positivity or someone who always has something negative to say about themselves? After a long day at work and school, men don't want to be bothered by a woman who needs constant validation, nor someone who is constantly putting themselves down. How do you feel about that, Cece?
Well, I do. I mean, I've been having trouble with my speaker. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
I think men do like a woman that is confident, but we can't be overconfident because I think that also intimidates men if we're too overconfident. But I think really what it boils down to is they just don't want to hear us complaining, right? They don't want to hear you complaining that you're gaining your little weight, you're a little heavy, you feel insecure. They want you to feel secure about yourself, and so I guess we're kind of the same way. I mean, we don't want to hear a man talk about his insecurities. So why would a man want to listen to ours, right?
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, we're not in a relationship to heal someone or to, listen, you cannot be a counselor and a lover at the same time. You're either going to be a counselor or you're going to be a lover. Mm-hmm. And you have to choose. The two together never works. And
well, I think too, the men are fixers. So if we're complaining about, let's for instance that we've got space between our teeth, how's he going to fix that? Well, okay, I'll take you to the dentist,
right.
Or if we feel overweight, I mean, he can't fix how we feel about ourselves.
And that's the thing.
That's our own insecurities. That's something we have to actually fix. So if we feel like we're a little bit overweight, then guess what? We need to go on a diet or we need to
lose the weight. Ask him to go exercise with you.
Yeah.
Don't even mention your weight. Just say, honey, let's join a gym or let's go. You know what your aim would be, right? But you don't have to express it, especially all the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I do think it doesn't hurt if you're saying to your guy, like, hey, I feel a little bit insecure about my weight. I need to lose weight. Can you support me on this? Let's work out together.
Right. Let's work out together.
Yeah. So this way you're both doing doing the thing. And who knows? He could be a little overweight too, and you just don't want to
I'm changing my eating habits. Kind of, support me on this.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's a positive approach to fixing a problem you think that you have.
Right.
Right. So I totally agree with this, and I don't expect women to appreciate men who don't have self-confidence either.
Mm-hmm.
I think that confidence goes a long way in improving the image that we present to someone.
Mm-hmm.
When they perceive of you, it's not just how you look, it's what you exude about yourself.
That's true.
So I think this one is on point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I think like when you're walking into a room, you have to have, a lot of self-confidence and Same thing in a relationship. You have to be true to yourself. So be honest with yourself. And if you things that you need to change within yourself, I just did a show about inner strength. Then you need to take charge of it and do that.
Of course. You remember a couple of weeks ago, I spoke about my concept of the complete circle.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This is part of it, confidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's true. I didn't realize how important it is to a man, but until tonight. So let's do the next one. You want to do the next one too?
You never pressured him.
Oh yeah, let's get this one out.
Men are used to being pressured when it comes to dating. That's why they always climb up and run in the opposite direction whenever a woman starts to question their intentions about being in a relationship. Of course, you have the right to know where he sees things going with you, with the two of you. But if you pressure him to define the relationship too soon, it will probably just push him even further away from you. The girl he chose to be with was so happy with her own life, she didn't have time to wonder about where she stood with him. Her days were full with work, friends, family, and hobbies, and she always took time out to do something for herself every day to make herself happy. Because she wasn't so eager to lock him down, it actually made him want her even more. She never even had to say the word relationship, because before she knew it, he was the one who was broaching the subject. I think that's true. I mean, nobody wants to be pressured. Nobody wants to be pressured.
I think it's silly to actually do it, because a man will choose a woman. Again, it's the same thing as what we were talking about before. You have to allow him to choose you, So you have to be confident in yourself and confident in what you want, and just really live in the moment and be happy. And if he's happy, he will choose you. There's nothing wrong with if you're dating for a long time and you might say, what is your goals, in our future? What do you see? What is your future holding? Because you want to make sure you're on the same page.
Well, absolutely.
You don't want to be finding out, okay, well, he really just wants to date for a year and then he's moving to another country.
Right.
So you want to make sure your goals and everything on the same page. And we'll have some more things that down the way. But I do think that he has to choose you. So he's the one that has to say he wants to be exclusive. And believe me, if a man is interested in you, he wants to get you off the market.
Right.
You're on a dating site or something. If he likes you, that will come out of his mouth faster than you probably even wanted at times. So he'll want to get you off the market immediately, and he'll want to claim you. And so if he's not doing that, then you have to question yourself, question the relationship.
Right. I don't think that's true. I mean, if you really are into someone, they shouldn't really have to ask. That should be something that intuitively. If you have to ask that question, then I think either communication is lacking, and if communication is lacking, to me, you don't really have a good relationship in the first place. Mm-hmm. So this one I agree with.
Yeah, I do. And again, I'm going to come back to that Love Island, right? This couple that won on the Love Island, it's Zach and Elizabeth. Yeah. And the whole thing of the Love Island is that men and women would come on, and you're there to try to find love for yourself. You're trying to find a relationship. And so if someone interests you, then you need to step out, meet them, and try to see where it goes. Well, they met pretty early in the show. And he knew instantly that she was the one. And he told her right off the bat, I'm not interested in anyone else. And then this beautiful woman came in, right? She came into the show and she was interested because he's a good looking guy. And they were sitting down and they were doing like a speed dating type of thing, so she could get to meet some of the guys and stuff, because he still had to converse and everything with them.
Right.
So he got in front of the lady, right, and the first thing out of his mouth is, "I'm with Elizabeth." Right off the bat, it's like, I'm with her. I'm with Elizabeth.
I'm with Elizabeth.
And so he chose her, and she was chosen. And so I think it's very, very important that we allow the man a chance to be a man, and let them do that, because when a man chooses you, not only are you a little bit more secure in your relationship, but it also makes him feel good because he's taken the reign of it. You know, he's making that decision, and you're not making him make that decision.
Remember, I told you a story when probably the first show we did, about this girl whom I had a relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
And when I really spoke to her about the relationship, about, you know, wanting to be with her and stuff, and I told her, look, you know, I've been looking at you for such a long time. I used to look for you every night, you know, when we went to that place. And she was like, what makes you think so? I used to pass in front of you every night and sit where you can see me, just so you can see me, right? So, so actually, you know, sometimes men think they're the ones choosing, but sometimes a woman makes up her mind before the man, and if she, you know, and puts herself in place to be present in his mind. It's almost as though he doesn't have a choice but to choose that particular person. So who is really doing the choosing in that situation? Who is a spider and who is a fly?
It's true. That's true. Well, and I guess a woman has to allow herself to be chosen, right? So she's putting herself out there a little bit, you know. But again, with this particular scenario, she's not pushing, because I don't think, you know, to make a relationship work, you can't push it, you know. And so it's got to, and I feel that the man have to initiate it.
Well, that might still be true. We'll see in today's world.
So what's the next one?
The next one is compatible social life. And this one basically speaks about what the two people might like socially, right? And it says the reason why he chose her over you could be due to a difference in your social styles, right? If you're dating a guy who loves to stay indoors during the weekend and cuddle up while watching a movie, but you prefer to be out on the town when the weekend rolls around, it could pose a serious problem. Men tend to gravitate towards women who have the same social styles as them, because it cuts out a lot of potential issues in the relationship. If staying at home is his idea of a perfect night, he wants to be with someone who won't pout if he suggests having a Dexter marathon all night long. If this is the reason why he chose her over you, you definitely shouldn't beat yourself up over it. It simply means the two of you just weren't as compatible as you thought. Neither of you should have to change yourselves to make the other happy. What do you think? True?
I think that is true, and I've had that happen to me, because, you know, a lot of the guys are older and they like to sit around and watch these reruns of these shows. And, you know, they've seen them over and over again, like MASH or,
oh my God,
or what's the other one? The last guy I dated, that's all he ever watched.
Seinfeld.
No, it was Seinfeld, but there's another one. It's a newer show.
A newer show, okay.
It goes on and on and on. But anyhow, but it's just watching the same thing over and over again, and that just wasn't me. You know, it's like I can remember I've seen that show, you know, and so I've already seen it, been there, done it. So yeah, so I think it is very important that you are compatible. It don't have to be everything, you know.
No.
but you do have to kind of like the same things. And I have found in past relationships where, like I like to go out and listen to music and, do concerts and things like that. And the other partner just wanted to stay home and watch television. And it just, we just weren't that compatible.
Right. And and compatibility is something that without that, you can't have a relationship. I mean, really and truly, if you have really different social styles, if one is a homebody and one is an adventurer, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah. I don't mind doing it some, but it wasn't my plan to do it every night. Wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm much more social, I think, than people that I have been dating. So yeah. And they say, and that's what's funny is they say they're social. Yeah, they say they are. And then when you say, well, what are you gonna do this weekend? And it's like, well, we're just gonna watch a rerun of the show.
Well, I'll tell you one thing though. I think women always have better ideas about where to go, when to go. In terms of the social scene. Unless, honestly, with me, look, I like to go out. I sometimes like to even go on just a nature trail or something and walk, right? But as far as planning an evening out, I leave that to the better half. We'll go out. You decide where we're going, but we're going out. We're going to have a good time. Occasionally, I might surprise you. But generally speaking, the planning is up to you.
Yeah. It was the Big Bang Theory. That's what it was. The Big Bang Theory.
The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah. There's like so many of those episodes, and it's like, geez, But the other thing is you can tape them, Can't you tape them and rewatch them?
Or you can watch it in your own time.
Yeah. So, there's compromise. Yeah. But it's true. If you don't have the same, social or, compatibility, I think that truly is.
That could pose a problem.
Yeah. And I think it is true, the style. Okay, what's the next one?
The next one is she compliments him. She compliments him. Many women love to be flattered. When he drives to your home to pick you up for a date, you expect him to tell you how amazing you look, right? And if he doesn't compliment you on how bouncy and glossy your hair looks, you immediately assume he's no longer attracted to you. Well, guess what? Men are the exact same way. Although they have been taught to give women compliments, they also want to receive a few compliments as well. It could be something as small as telling him the color of his shirt goes perfectly with his blue eyes, and complimenting a guy on how smart he is will definitely warn you a few extra brownie points. Of course, he didn't expect you to lay the compliments on thick every time he saw you. But if you never even gave him props for the little things, it could be the reason why the two of you didn't end up together. So everybody likes being complimented.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, guys do like being complimented. Sometimes you feel you do a little thing. It might be something around the house. It might not anything be personal about you. And it might be just something out of the blues you do around the house just to make your mate happy. And men appreciate when that is noticed and he's complimented for it. And
it means a lot. It's not just the fact that you like his shirt. It's the fact that you've actually taken a notice of what he's wearing, or that he looks different,
or something.
The biggest thing for me is that when I have noticed that they've gotten a haircut or something like that, and you notice, oh, you got a haircut. Oh, that looks great. The guys just beam when you say that.
Yeah.
And they're thinking, you actually noticed that I did something different, see? And that's what it is. So if you notice something that they've done differently and you recognize that, it makes a huge difference. And shoot, wouldn't we want everybody to be like that? I would hope that they would notice that I got my hair cut, or I did something different, or if I dyed it black and came home and you didn't notice that I had was a brunette. You didn't even realize it. I think you'd be in trouble.
That could be trouble. You know, even in, I mean, a hair change is a big thing. You know, a color change.
Yeah, I thought about changing my hair color, but it's so drastic, you know, that I just don't know how people would react.
Well, I mean, give it a try. It might look good.
Yeah, it might. We did a thing on Facebook here that had where you put your picture in and it changed your hair color and you had different hair colors.
Yeah.
And it was shocking because when I was really dark, I looked just like my daughter and my sister.
I see.
And it was shocking because we don't think we look alike because I'm so light and they're so dark haired.
Right.
It was amazing. It was so dark, and then the red and everything. I got a lot of talking going on regarding my hair color. People did think I should change my hair color, but it's so drastic. Yeah, it is nice to be noticed. You know,
of course.
Someone notices you.
One night I was in a gas station and a young girl, probably about 16, and she had many different colors in her hair. And she called me over and I said, yes, dear, what can I do for you? Don't you think my hair looks great? She was in the car with her mom, you know? And I said, yes, oh my gosh, her hair is so beautiful. And then I saw her mother's face drop. And I said, oh, mom probably doesn't agree with that hair color. You know, so then I had to put in and say, yes, you remind me so much of a South American macaw with all those beautiful colors. And the mother burst out laughing, you know, but even young girls, they want to feel, they want to be complimented for whatever effort they do, you know. So I think it's a natural human thing for us to be complimented. And a lot of us are not attentive enough to those little details, like complimenting your partner and so on. And it's a practice that we should always fall in.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's important that we definitely do that, because I mean, let's face it, we're with them because we do like the way they look or they smell or, you know, something about them. We're with them because there really truly is an essence about them that we love. And so we should definitely make sure we know that our partner feels that way. So, yeah.
Oh, yes.
So what's the next one?
The next one is she's a lot more fun.
Uh-oh.
Everyone needs a little bit of excitement in their lives. And if you plan on settling down with someone, the obvious choice would be to pick the person who knows how to have fun. And that's true, right?
Someone calling you?
Yes. That's so I think that's important, that a person that you're with, you can have fun with them. You know, and and in the conclusion, I said, in this instance, there really isn't anything you could have done to make him choose you over her. It all comes down to compatibility. And she clearly brought something different to the table that really appealed to him. This doesn't mean your life is over, of course. All it means is you need to keep searching for the right guy. So what do you think about that one?
Yeah, I think compatibility, you know, are you on the same wavelength of what it is that's, you know, if he doesn't find you fun or he finds you boring, you're not, you know, it's just not going to work, right?
Right.
So it's something you definitely have to do. And the thing is each date that you're on, and if it doesn't work out, you're just one step closer to the right one.
Of course.
You sort things out. You start realizing, oh yeah, you know, there's certain elements about this person that not necessarily that was bad. It's just not what you want in your life, you know?
Absolutely.
And so I think as we're starting to date, especially when we come out of a long-term relationship, we start dating again, we're really starting to assess what it is that we really want in our lives. And we don't always know it. you know.
And that is true.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. That's an assessment that we really have to take seriously. We have to know, and I often tell people, know what you want in your partner. You're not going to get 100%, but you might get 80%.
Mm-hmm.
But know what you want. Have some kind of guide. So look, I mean, what if you are a fun-loving person, you like having fun? What's the sense you having a partner who has no sense of humor?
Mm-hmm.
So that's very important.
Very much. Yeah, I totally agree with that one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought this next one was really interesting. They shared the same affection styles. What do you think about that?
Well, that's important, because how we show affection mustn't make the other person uncomfortable. I know, like, men especially, right? Some men don't have a lot of affection to show in private. And women as well are guilty of this. But when they get out in public, boy, lover boy has arrived.
They just want to keep him in public all the time.
He wants the world to know that, hey, this is my lady, this is my girl, whatever. And sometimes it becomes uncomfortable. And similarly for men, for women. If you're not affectionate at home, don't go out and be over affectionate outside. But your styles must complement each other, I think.
Right. Yeah, I've heard a lot of men talk about, especially coming out of relationships, that they felt that there wasn't any affection. A lot of men had said that to me, like they really missed holding hands.
Right.
And, just touching the touch of someone else.
Yeah.
And it seemed like their relationship had drifted so far apart that wasn't taking place.
Right.
Yes. Of course, we come together and have an action or whatever, but it was just really that. It wasn't that loving, caressing type of affection. And a lot of men crave that. A lot of men they really want that.
Of course.
Yeah.
A lot of men would love some affection. So if you know that you're that type, you like to receive affection, then you have to have a woman who knows how to give that.
Right.
And at the same time as well, you must be comfortable with the kind and amount of affection shown. It can be overboard, or it can be you're a hand holder and she's a smoocher. Sometimes you have those kind of clashes going on.
Right. Years ago, there was a couple guys that would do this, but they would squeeze your arm, squeeze it so tight that I thought was bruising me, and they like smack you, and that kind. They were really rough, and I was like, that was a total turnoff for me.
Yeah.
Total turnoff. And I would say things like, oh, stop doing that, and like pinch me, and things like it's like, And both of them, they were both very prominent men, and nice guys. Would have been a great catch for anyone, but it was a total turnoff for me.
Oh, man. Well,
like when I first
that happens.
Divorce, it's like, no, I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. But so you do have to be very compatible about how you feel about things, and you need to be verbal about it. So if it's something that you don't like or that you do like, you need to kind of express it so that your partner knows about it.
Yeah, I think people should speak up. Communication to me is the most important thing in any kind of relationship. You have to communicate. You have to let people know how you feel, what you like, what you don't like. Without them even asking, you have to speak up. And I think that's important.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I thought that was very important, because sometimes we don't think about our affection styles,
Right.
And then the next one, number 9, was they have the same family values as you.
Yes.
And I think that's truly important. I mean, I definitely look at that. I look at the fact of, to me, are they a dad, and what kind of dad are they?
Right.
So, because I have kids in my life, and so I want to know that, they're going to be okay with that, be able to handle that.
Right. And if you're not a dad, can they accommodate kids?
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's a young couple, does this person want children? Or is it that they don't want children? I mean, those things are important to decide before you actually get into a committed relationship, to me.
Yeah, absolutely. As you're growing as a couple, those are the things you definitely need to address, and it's so vital. Sorry,
it's very important.
It's so vital about that you do need to do that, because it's surprising, and you're not going to be able to change your family, so you're going to have to be able to kind of know how that's going to blend. How important that is. So, like, for instance, us being a little bit older, for me being a little bit older, they have grandchildren. How are you? And if the other partner is really into his grandchildren, you got to know it right up front that, guess what, you're going to have to be, into the grandchildren too. And if you're not into, little ones, grandchildren, stuff like that, you're going to have a problem, as you're moving forward in the relationship.
Absolutely.
And I also, for me, I think back. I mean, I do a double check if someone says that they have never been married. If you've never been married or in some sort of committed relationship for long term, as old as we are, it makes me wonder why. So I think twice, like, what, were you in jail or something? Or
well, that can easily be checked these days, but
what's up with that? I mean,
well, that is true.
Were you in Alaska? Or what's up? How come you
were you on the rock somewhere?
That's drop down, like Arnold Schwarzenegger did in that movie, just drop down from the sky.
Right.
But yeah, so that makes me double check, when someone hasn't, been really in a family kind of environment, or that kind of thing, because it's a realism, for me, that a family is important. So, not that I'm with my family all the time or anything like that, but I think it's an important element for me. So, but those out there that, let's say, they don't want family, they don't want to be around a lot of little kids, better think about that when you're dating somebody.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's very important. So what's the next one?
The next one is, you weren't relationship material.
Ooh, what do you think about that?
Well,
what does that mean?
Well, let me read this one, because that one is a bit of a value judgment.
Yeah, let's read that one.
You may think that you are the best thing since sliced bread. But perhaps you gave off some vibes that led this guy to believe you really weren't relationship material. Perhaps you like to spend your weekends at the bar, and he is looking for someone who is a little more low-key. Or maybe he was put off by your excessive flirting with other men. Whatever the reason may be, it is clear something rubbed him the wrong way while the two of you were dating. In his mind, he already decided that you just weren't relationship material, and this is exactly why he chose her over you. While you were trying to decide if he was the right one for you, he was definitely doing the same. While weighing his options, he finally came to the conclusion that a long-term relationship with you just wasn't in the cards. Instead of leading you on, he moved on to someone else. So it could be just something that rubbed the potential partner the wrong way, and he made a decision, or she made a decision, that, hey, this relationship is not for me.
But, I talk a lot about myself because I try to use myself as an example. So as we're discussing things, I do it often. And because I've learned a lot of things, you know, I've been divorced now for this month, I guess, be like 11 years. And it's really the first time in my life I've been this long without a partner in my life. And at the very beginning, I started dating a guy who was a great guy. I mean, he truly was a great guy, and we got along really great, and he did a lot of wonderful things. I mean, there were some things I didn't really like, but I think we probably could have worked those things out. But I was not relationship material because I was just not ready to settle down into a relationship.
Well,
not that I wanted to date other people. I didn't. We were in a committed relationship, but I didn't want to go any further than what the relationship was. And I had, at that time, there was elements about myself I wanted to grow. And I felt like being in the type of relationship that he wanted, it wouldn't allow me to do those things. I was starting to think about developing a business. I wanted to create something of my own, you know, and so he just wanted to take care of me, you know, and I just wasn't at that point in my life that I really wanted him to do that. And so I realized then, as when we broke up, that the reason we broke up was not because he didn't care for me, because I think he did. I think it hurt him a lot to break up with me, and he broke up with me, and but it didn't hurt me as much because I just really wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that.
So it wasn't
very
that
careful when we go out and we start dating, that we know what it is that we're really looking for.
Right. So it wasn't that he thought you weren't relationship material. It is that you thought that you weren't ready for a relationship.
Yeah, he thought, well, I think he thought I wasn't relationship material. I think he thought I wasn't in a place in my life where I wanted to really go the next step, you know.
Right.
And I think he was looking for more than, you know, just a committed relationship. He really wanted to be like married and, you know, going the whole thing. And I there's no way I would have even considered being married. I mean, just now after 11 years, I think, you know, maybe I could get married again, but not at the beginning.
Right.
The last time I ever wanted to think about getting married, you know.
Right.
But he had already been 10 years, himself, out of a relationship. So he was ready for that.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes some time, you know, to get your mind adjusted to being in another really committed relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you get out of relationship, it takes some time to really clear yourself. Some people jump in and jump out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I could never understand that really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
here's the thing: is what I realize now is that, and we've talked about this before, is that we can develop the type of relationship that we want. And even though with him, I was in a very committed relationship. I mean, I didn't date anybody else. I wasn't interested in anybody else. I was faithful. I was, you know, I did all of the stuff that you would normally do in any kind of relationship, but I didn't want to take it any further. And so him coming from the environment that we are familiar with, being, you know, you date and then you get married, you know, to him, that was the next step that we needed to do. And I wasn't willing to do that. So therefore I wasn't, you know, in his mind, I wasn't relationship material. So, you know, so you broke it off. So I think that we need to really think about what we want and the type of relationship we want. And, you know, I mean, him and I could have still been probably together today if he would have changed maybe the way he was thinking about relationships, you know, if he thought maybe he didn't have to get married, if he could wait for me to feel ready for that, you know, that kind of thing. But he wasn't, and he wanted to get married. And for some reason, he wanted to move forward like that. And it just didn't gel. So these are a lot of them here. I don't know if we're going to make it through all these. So if we don't, we could finish it up on the next one.
We can do it. We are at number 7. So probably next week
Yeah.
We can start from wherever we stop.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you want to say anything else about the relationship one?
Well, no, I think that that's important. That's all I would say. That to be, to be on the same page is very important, right? It's not, a lot of people take it as rejection, but it's not. I don't think someone should feel rejected. It's just that too is a question of compatibility. Your social style might be similar, but it might not be the same. His perception of how you should act or his expectation isn't the same as your expectation for yourself. So, and that could simply be the problem because, like this example you used where he probably felt that you were too flirty with another man, that might just be your way.
I don't think he ever thought that because I've never.
No, I mean, I'm not speaking about you personally.
Oh,
I'm using about the example here. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
the example here is.
But you are right there. I think that because I wanted to develop, and I was doing a lot of events back then. I was doing a lot of things, so I was going out, doing a lot of events, late nights, those kind of things, and I would always come back. Always come back to him. And but he just wanted more, and I just really wasn't ready for that. And so I think you just have to be on the same page. You got to know what
the same page.
Yeah,
and you can only give what you can give.
Right.
So I think that it's just a difference of perspectives and what point you are in your life and so on.
Yeah. Well, I think this is very important, and we're not going to get through all of these, so we're probably going to have to end the show here in a minute. But I just wanted to tell everyone again what the topic was, so that way they'll know when we come back next week, we're going to finish it up. It's 15 reasons why he chose her over you.
Right.
And I think it's very, very important. I don't know if anybody's calling us for the show or not. Let's see. Oh. WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, can I help you? Yeah. I'm on a live show. Do you have a question for us? Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes and I'll be off. All right, thanks. Bye. Bye.
Yes.
Nope, it wasn't, but that's okay. So our phone works. So if anybody wants
it works.
we can do that. So anyhow, we're going to cover the rest of these next week, and I think it's really important because some of them are really interesting as we get down through the list here. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So anyhow, again, if you guys want to reach out to us, you can find us on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. Our email is goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. Our website, if you guys want to check it out, we have a lot of our shows right on there, and that is goingSoloMedia.com. We changed it to media because we do a lot of things. So we do the TV here, and we do radio and podcasting, and we do even some website development and things like that. So we do quite a lot of things now. So we changed it to the whole arena of media. So you guys know how to reach us. We're all over Facebook, of course, and we're on LinkedIn, and we're on Pinterest, and we've got a great YouTube channel. So please join us there and subscribe. Our Boy and Girl Things shows are right there. We've got our own page for it. So I hope that you'll join us there. But come back next week, next Thursday, right?
Next Thursday.
Yep, and we'll be right here to finish out the show. I'm Cece Schatz.
And I'm Derek Bernard.
Okay, and you guys are listening to the Boy and Girl Things show, and we're on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Yes, I hope you did. Bye.
Bye-bye.